These are the VRS Dark Force Pro pedals. So it's a high-end product, stainless steel construction with an industrial aesthetic. Very, very adjustable. All three pedals, the pedal faces in terms of height, depth, angle are fully adjustable, and overall pedal angle is also adjustable. Now, if we look at the throttle pedal first, we have quite a unique design here. So we have a rodless spring, which doesn't quite look right to the eye, but functionally performs extremely well. Absolutely no friction whatsoever, so really nice smooth response. And we have a lot of adjustability here in terms of initial starting force, preload, and also overall force and pedal travel. So if we move on to the brake, we have similar levels of adjustability, a very high-end, heavy-duty construction. We have the blue spring on here at the moment, which tolerates a 65 kilogram maximum force. Also supplied is the optional red spring, which doubles that to 130 kilograms. These are linear springs, which is not normally how a real-life brake pedal feels. So we have this very clever mechanism on the back here, which basically turns that into a progressive, more realistic feeling, which gives you quite a decent bit of travel for low-level trail braking, and then more of a ramp up when you're really braking much harder. And we have this tie rod at the top, which is fully adjustable, along with preload, so you can really fine-tune that exact force shape to your preference. On the clutch, we have a similar level of adjustability in terms of pedal face and also the shape of the curve. So we try to emulate a clutch plate, which is stiff initially and then flattens out as the clutch gives way. So that's emulated here with a small amount of adjustability, including overall travel as well. So we're very happy with this product, and we hope you are too.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit IRacing.com.
If you're looking to get serious in sim racing, one of the first things to do is upgrade your wheelbase and pedals. The powerful force feedback in our direct drive wheelbase makes a huge difference, and our highly adjustable precision pedals will give you the consistency you need to improve. So you'll not only get the best value for your money, but you'll also benefit from our quick, local shipping from Australia and save even more. Our transparent pricing has GST included, so there's no nasty surprises at checkout or further customs delays and charges. And if you're near Melbourne, you can simply pick up your hardware from our showroom and get a free product walkthrough from one of our VRS coaches. We offer excellent customer service after the sale, and our hardware is made of the highest quality components. To get yours today, just go to the URL on the screen or click on the button below. But hurry, stock is always limited due to high demand. So if you want to get faster, sooner, VRS is your answer.
Control, feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain, only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, beast, it's taking over, cannot contain. victory lane. I hear the echoes of the past, the roaring ghosts that never last. But here I stand, the finish line, one last race, one last time. Through it all, get past the pain, cutting laps, making gains, feeling tired, get to my aim. The desire to get to victory lane, speeding faster, no control. Feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain, only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taking over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome into the iRacing World Challenge with the VRS Virtual Racing School Porsche Cup Series for round 7 of Season 2 here this evening out at Okayama for our final rush round of the season. I'm your commentator here tonight, Hamish Munro. Unfortunately not joined by Brenton O'Brien this evening. Unfortunately yesterday I had to rush out for a family emergency. We postponed the broadcast and unfortunately Brenton's not available tonight to join me, so it's just me on the call this evening here for our final rush round of the season. But I think we've had an incredible season and I'm so looking forward to tonight. This is going to be an absolute banger of a race. I think you put Okayama on track, you put some Porsche Cups on there as well, and it's almost a match made in heaven. It's tight, it's twisty, good passing opportunities as well, and also great opportunities for these drivers to go racing here this evening. Let's have a quick look at our track map here before we get into it this evening. Of course, Okayama based out of Japan. As we trickle our way on down to have a quick look at this circuit here this evening, we'll see that it's not too far away from, of course, the town of Okayama, or the city of Okayama, the city of Osaka and Kobe as well. As we get into the forest surrounding this place, you see the bottle opener-esque looking circuit. Of course, it was opened back in 1990. And it's been a staple of Japanese sports car and open wheel racing ever since. It all starts on the main straight with the run up towards turn 1 at first corner. This is an early danger zone for these drivers here this evening as they get themselves prepared to attack the rest of the circuit, and as they get themselves mentally prepared for the rest of the lap as well. It's a spot where we're going to see overtakes throughout the races here this evening. Of course, 3 races on offer for us here tonight. And it's a good passing opportunity. It is one, though, where drivers can get a little bit unstuck, especially a little bit earlier in the race where the pack's a bit tighter. So this is going to be a spot for us to keep an eye on. Turn 2 at Williams as well, another spot similarly to first corner. You'll often get cars coming too wide through turn 1. They then try and continue to go too wide through 2, and it can end in tears if drivers are not careful. Then the run up through the Moss S's at turn 3. Again, we can often see cars getting unglued through here, a little bit unstuck, trying to get overlapped with each other, and it can end in dramas. Then up towards Atwood at turn 4 as well. Again, though, this is a spot where you want to try and maybe maximise your run out of the corner more so than going for the overtake, because you've got such a long back straight coming up ahead of you, especially with one of the better passing opportunities at turn 5 at the hairpin. You want to maximise that run out of 4, try and get the job done before the braking zone and solidify the position in towards turn 5. You make it through 5, you then get into Revolver at 6 and Piper at 7. This is the biggest danger zone of the whole track. These 2 corners, a combination of which you will see drivers either running wide at the exit of Revolver and into the sand trap, or they'll end up wide at 7 at Piper and into the wall. If they end up in the wall at Piper, we could see them get back on circuit and in the way of the oncoming traffic as well. As we then run through the Cascades and up towards turn 8 at Redmond, this here, again, just trying to slot in behind the cars ahead of you. Same for 9 at Hobbs. And then you try and follow them through Mike Knight corner at 10 and final corner at 11. All this to get yourself a run up towards turn 1 and make yourself an overtake as well later on in the lap. 3 races to come your way around this circuit here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. 2 15-minute sprints and a 30-minute feature as well. The second of the 15-minute sprints are full reverse grid. The third race, the 30-minute feature, will be inverted top 10 based on the results of race 2. The 2 15-minute sprint races, only 25 cars get points in those ones. Anyone finishing below that will miss out on the points haul, unfortunately. 11 turns, 3.7 Ks or 2.3 miles in the old language, located out of Mamaska, Japan. And we'll be running around, obviously, in a clockwise rotation here this evening. We'll have a quick look, though, at the points tally at the moment. Coming out of round 6 at Bathurst, Sam Muir leads the way, 1,150 points, 41 points clear of Simon Mazzomo in P2, who even with his race win last week, took the last round as a drop round. So that there was his worst round to date, even with a race win. That just shows you how consistent he has been and how difficult the racing was for him in race 1 and race 3. Alan Dawson just ahead of Colby Warren at the moment, with OC and Colangelo sitting inside the top 5 as well. Only the top 4 are above 1,000 points. That's likely going to change here this evening as more and more points are getting put on offer as well. Angus Lawford, Daniel Yeaman, Craig Schultz, Sean Lindsell and Alex Schuler then make up our top 10 at this stage. As we run in towards open qualifying for these drivers, we'll see who is going to withstand the pressure here this evening and who is going to better withstand how they attack this circuit here this evening as the drivers begin to exit pit lane now. So we'll get a good solid look at this track, obviously, amongst the piece here tonight. 15 minutes on the clock for these drivers. They will get cut off at the end of the 15 minutes, being that it is a multiple race session here this evening. Only for the feature rounds do they get over the 15 minutes to finish their qualifying lap. So if they're going to get a lap in that's going to put them up the front end of town, they've got to get them in before the 15 minutes is up. It's no joke when we say you can't start the lap before the 15 minutes is up, because you won't get it done if you scroll past that time. Sam Muir, what can he do here tonight? Of course, the championship leader, one of the drivers in the field. I'll be hoping just to continue his run of form at the moment. He has been in ultra-dominant form thus far this season. Only missed round 1, did the driver of the 182 machine. And he's just going to have to take some caution, I think. You know, not play the risky card. He's got a 41-point lead over Simon Mazzomo at the moment. That there has given him quite a good cushion, especially with the next 3 weeks coming up after tonight. Interlagos next week, of course, for our next feature race. Long Beach in round 9 as a droppable round for a sprint round, and the non-droppable round, of course, at the end of the season, Belle Isle for round 10. So it's a tough run home from here. I mean, tonight it's going to be a tough run for many drivers out there as Sam begins his first run here in qualifying. And we'll see what this lap can bring up for him as he crosses the line to begin this attempt. But how are these drivers going to do? I mean, it's, you know, for Sam, he's got a nice buffer. There's a tough few rounds coming up. I think when we get to Long Beach and to Belle Isle, he almost needs to try and play it a little bit safe. Doesn't need to push too hard for position. Otherwise, he'll get himself in some trouble, and he doesn't want to give any advantage possible to Mazzomo leading into these next few rounds. For everyone else who wants to challenge him, well, they've got to try and push now. They've got to make points. Mazzomo needs points if he hopes to close that gap of 49 points at this stage of the season. Oh, sorry, 41 points at this stage of the season. So there's a bit of work to do. We'll see how the drivers fare. At the moment in qualifying, Shannon Fever looks to set the fastest time in qualifying as Muir enters in towards the Cascade section through Piper at 7. What can he do towards the end of this lap? Can he find a purple sector on board this car? We have got Job Stewart back in the field tonight as well, so he'll be hoping to get back in form leading forward towards the crescendo of this season. Mazzomo's got some great pace. Fastest sector in the third at the moment on board the number 1 car. As we mentioned, his first race win in the series last week out at Bathurst. So we'll see how he fares amongst this field here this evening as Muir comes down towards the start-finish line. What is the lap time going to be for him as he crosses the line? It is a 1:32.28 for Sam Muir. Fever, who had an early fast sector, has gone P, now P4. Lawrence into P1 with a 1:31.99, the only 31 in the session at the moment. Mazzomo P2, 1:32.13. And as these times keep coming in, as Stewart makes a statement, 1:31.59. A fantastic lap from the ERT driver. As the times come in, more and more are we going to see this field obviously condense just slightly because cars are going to get more comfortable around this place. the drivers are going to get more comfortable as well. So as this session develops, these lap times are not only going to get faster, they're going to get closer together too. The rear of the field will really start to sort of sandwich press their way up towards the top end of town by the end of this qualifying session. I can almost guarantee it to you. For Stewart, he's got some work to do now this season. He's missed a couple of rounds. He missed the Bend. He missed Bathurst. So technically, he's a round behind everybody else. Only one drop round this season. So that puts him on the back foot just a touch. I mean, he's in 12th in the championship, 887 points at the moment. So he's got a bit of gap between himself and Muir and Mizomo. But a bad round from those guys and a perfect round from him could swing it just in his favour if he is lucky, as he just has to back out of it. Ben Pedersen, solid lap from this bloke. Fighting COVID for the past week, he has. And he's still feeling the pressure of that here tonight as well. Muir, though, what a time. 131.72. Absolutely spectacular effort from him. As Harris, who's returned to the series here tonight, goes to the top of the timesheets. 131.43. Matt Bowler, P2, 131.44. Warren, 131.55. So all of a sudden, Job Stewart has got some challenges here in qualifying. He's got some challenges to the moniker of the fastest driver in the series, as Harris, Bowler and Warren have pipped him there for 3 positions above. Absolutely incredible stuff from those guys to do that. Ellie Gardner back in the field tonight as well. Great to see her out there in the 7 entry. Missed last week at Bathurst, so hopefully she can find some fire in her belly here this evening and get a solid performance on the board. Maybe a couple of top 10s across the 3 races here this evening. We saw last week, though, Matt Bowler, gotta mention him. I mean, P2 at the moment, the best rush round performance we have ever seen, possibly the best we will see for a long, long time. On the podium in every single race on the evening, and a race win to boot as well. That last week was an extraordinary performance from Matt Bowler. The only way I think we can ever beat that now is if somebody somehow wins all 3 races in a rush round, which is pretty much impossible based on the fact that race 2 has that full reverse grid and then race 3 has that inverted top 10. It seems more and more likely it is impossible. But then we get these little moments of magic where we see a guy like Matt Bowler produce something we never thought we would see. As Stewart goes straight to the top, 131.12. Bowler had a 131.16. Just got pipped by his teammates, the line there. We sometimes see these little gems in the crown that start to form in terms of positive performances. Now, for Matt Bowler, obviously, if he had been able to put a complete season together this season by racing in every single round, he'd be right up there with Sam Muir. Same thing for Daniel Harris, same thing for Job Stewart, and we understand that life sometimes gets in the way and the time clock sometimes gets in the way as well. Jacko's making a good point, though. Job has had a couple of clean sweeps. He definitely has, but it's clean sweeps in the terms of a sprint round. Well, it's a bit easier than the rush round, obviously, because you're not having to start race 2 from the very back of the field. I was gobsmacked when I saw Matt Bowler was able to make his way to the front of the field in race 2. Probably helped from the fact that half the field was caught up in a car park at the Dipper. But regardless, we move on and we look forward. Halfway through qualifying, Job Stewart, the fastest man on track at the moment, 131.12. Fantastic effort from him. I should rephrase, actually, fastest driver on track at the moment. Alan Dawson, P6. He's in a pretty good position in the championship right now. He's been quietly just keeping it nice and consistent this season. And there's a reason why this bloke sits P3 in the title race. It's because he's just been keeping himself right there, right in the hunt, every single week. Got a couple of podiums to his name. He's in a really solid and impressive position at this stage of the championship. Lachlan Capel as well. Couple of wins to his name over the last few weeks. Can he go back to back to back and get a 3-peat of victories here tonight? Only time will tell as we get in towards the proceedings here throughout this one. Blake Fitzpatrick as well. We'll see what he can do out on the road here this evening. We know he's got some solid pace about him. He's proven that the last few weeks. Same thing for Ryan Mueller. Both of these guys debuting roughly around the same time. Very similar amount of pace. and very similar in how they approach racing and how they attack a circuit. We'll see how those guys do it tonight. They've been impressing me over the last few weeks. Ryan continues to impress me in how he can cross over from different cars and become fast almost immediately. He puts enough time into this thing. He is going to be challenging for race wins, mark my words. Around about 5.5 minutes left. So there's still a few more minutes for these times to get brought down. In terms of the gap being a second from pole position, well, it's only until we get to Lachlan Capel and P11 that we get to roughly a second off of the top time. 1.04 seconds is the gap between Capel. Everyone inside the top 10 is within a second of Stewart. Everyone below is outside a second. It's not until we get back to Craig Schultz that we get, to Tim Nicol that we get to 2 seconds slower than the current pole position time of a 1:31.05 now. 2.01 seconds, that's back in P26. So I told you it was going to get tight. I told you these drivers were going to get faster as the session goes on. They're continuing to do that. We'll see how it all plays out throughout the proceedings of the races here tonight. It's anyone's game, though, in these rush rounds. It really, really is. Last week, obviously, we saw dominance by Matt Bowler, but I think that there was rarefied air. It's a rarefied moment that we get a driver like that as Stefan Lawrence on debut here tonight for Riot Sim Sports. Just as a minor off track between turn 2 and turn 3. Looks to rejoin the circuit. Ben Pedersen, what a lap time though. 1:30.91 in the 669 car. That there is some mega pace, and he's really putting the challenge to the front runners with that sort of lap time being produced. Now, the times not only are going to be getting faster because obviously the cars are going to develop more throughout the session. The track tonight when we arrived was wet. It was a wet track when we arrived. It has been drying out throughout practice and now qualifying as well. So watch for these lap times to be monstrous across the next 3.5 minutes because it looks to be a dry track at this stage. To give you a tyre compound comparison, well, everyone's on dries at the moment. So, but for Job Stewart, he needs to find some pace now to try and catch Ben Pedersen's lap time, because that there was an incredible effort from Ben to put that car into provisional pole position. But anyone else, well, they can definitely challenge him at this stage. Lachlan Capel, he's found some pace as well. He currently sits P6 in the standings. Everyone barring Alex Schuler, Martin Lofthouse, Johnny Rowe, Aaron Smith are on the road at the moment. As there goes, who was that off the road then? That there was Paul Wilson of Riot Sim Sports. So Capel gets let through by Paul Wilson and can now attack for this next lap. Pedersen's into pit lane, so probably just trying to get some fresh rubber on the car. Looks to push on to the later part of this session. Maybe try and get one more lap in if he can. He's got enough time to get out there. Fitzpatrick gets out of the way of Capel. Gives him plenty of run through. So could this lap time be good enough for a front row start for Lachlan Capel? He's got some solid performance, some solid pace on board this car. It's whether he can put the puzzle pieces together and find this perfect lap to really attack the front of the field. Now, whether this is a push or not, I think he should get enough time for one more lap in. So if he's backed out of it at any point because of the traffic, he may be able and willing to push on for one more run here at Okayama. We'll see how they do as well. JGN of the chat, good to see the J-Road caboose not in last. No, he's not in last at the moment. He's got Jake Burton and Aaron Smith in behind him. Let's see what this lap time looks like for Capel. Can Harris continue to stay ahead of him as well? These guys are going to do one final lap in qualifying to settle the score and see where they end up. Pedersen's in pit lane, Bowler's in pit lane, as is Dawson and Lawrence and Akers, Schuler, Lofthouse, Wilson, Boyd, Rowe. Pedersen's just rejoined the circuit. He won't have enough time to get one more lap in here in qualifying. He's only just exited pit lane. There is not enough time left for him to start a fast lap and finish it, being a rush round here this evening. So he's out there probably just to get, see how the tyres feel, see how the pace feels. Maybe he's confident that these guys can't challenge him. But Job Stewart surely can. I mean, he's got the pace of better than almost anyone out on this field. as he runs up through the final few corners towards the checkered flag, or towards the checkered flag, at least for him in this session, towards the start-finish line. And his final run here in qualifying. What is the lap going to look like for Job Stewart as Marcus Cook gets out of his way? Very gracious of Marcus. He won't have enough time for another lap either. As Stewart flows around the final corner. What is the lap time going to be for the number 30 Evolution Racing Team Porsche Cup car as he crosses the start-finish line? It's a 1:30.934, but it's not good enough to pip Pedersen at the moment. What about Daniel Harris and Lachlan Capel? These guys have been following each other around for the whole lap. Can these lap times get below a 31? And can they challenge for pole position? Capel's going to be the first across the line. So as they run up here towards the start-finish line, final attempt, 10 seconds on the clock. Capel crosses, doesn't go any better. Harris goes to P4 on that last attempt. Ryan Mueller too far away. Qualifying done and dusted. And it is Ben Pedersen who has claimed the pole position here this evening at Okayama. What an incredible qualifying session we've just seen. Absolutely fantastic stuff there from Ben. Let's have a quick look though at our starting grid for race 1 here this evening. Ben Pedersen will start pole position alongside Job Stewart, Matt Bowler, Daniel Harris, the top 4, Sam Muir, Colby Warren, ahead of Lachlan Capel, Alan Dawson, Stefan Lawrence on debut. Great time from him to get inside the top 10. Ellie Gardner, P10 on the road there in qualifying. Ryan Mueller, Simon Mazzomo will then start inside the top 12 with Sean Linzell, Angus Lawford, John Akers and Shannon Fever for our top 16. Tim Nicol, Alex Schuler, Martin Lofthouse and Blake Fitzpatrick. They make up the top 20 with Paul Wilson, Harry Dodds, Steve Tonkin and Rodney Golan for the top 24. Kurt Chapman, Stacey Boyd, Jared McLeod, Gary Watson start ahead of Craig Schultz, Jake Burton, Marcus Cook, Johnny Rowe and Aaron Smith will start at the back of the field. Our race controllers here this evening, being for his first attempt at being a CRS tonight, Leith McClement will be working alongside Jack Anderson and Lucas Burt inside of the safety car. Cars will begin to get gridded up. JJ Anderson saying the rivalry of J-Row and A. Smith continues. It definitely does. That there is a cross-series rivalry between the Porsche Cup and the Rodnock Cup as well. That there is a cross-series rivalry for the ages. Jordan, I was going to say Gary Ferguson. Jordan Ferguson in the chat out there with us too. Hope you're doing well, Jordan. Hope you're feeling better as well. Great to have everyone watching along with us here this evening, of course. And I do apologise that it's not on our regular night and not on the live time as well. We appreciate you joining us here and taking time out of your week. I know you would have been anticipating watching it yesterday live whilst the race was happening. But we do appreciate your support nonetheless and your understanding as to why. We are broadcasting the race here this evening too, so we appreciate everybody watching out there. We do request, if you are watching along, you haven't done so already, or you've been watching for a while and you haven't done so already, or you're new, hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing here on Infinity Broadcasting. Later on in the week, Friday night, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, we go racing with the Rodnock Cups once again out at Langley Speedway. And then Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, it's the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans for the next round of Season 24 for that series out at Hockenheimring. Myself and Brett Fisher in the booth for that one as well. So massive week coming your way. Massive next couple of races coming your way as well. It's going to be a special time for the rest of this week. But we'll see how they go off the start line here. Roughly 10 seconds until the lights are going to go up for these drivers. I'm excited. This is going to be a good one here this evening out at Okayama. Lights up though for Ben Pedersen and Job Stewart. Who's going to get the run down towards turn 1? Who's going to get the benefits of qualifying position here this evening? Green flag flies for the first time at Okayama. And we're racing once again, and the scramble gets down towards turn 1. Pedersen defends to Stewart. Bowler, Warren, Muir, Harris, Capel, Dawson, Mueller, Lawrence, the 10 at the moment. But there's a spin in the background, and it's Kurt Chapman. And I believe there's been contact. Aaron Smith's just made his way through, as Ben Pedersen as well. Ben Pedersen from the front of the lead I'm trying to catch him if I can. He's off the road at turn 2. Cold tyres for Pedersen. Cold tyres for Pedersen, who's got the car back up and running again. And that there was a massive moment for Ben. Let's have a quick look at how this came to be. So we had Stewart just ahead of him. We clicked away just at the wrong moment. So let's see how this occurred. So comes through, Stewart up the inside, bit of contact, and round Pedersen went. And the evasive action of the field behind him, incredible stuff. He's like a sitting chicane there for them to avoid. They did well. Oh, and Watson got caught out with the rejoin. Watson got caught out with the rejoin, and that there is not what you want off the restart of this race. Absolutely crucial moment in this one for him. So as Stewart leads us down towards turn 5, he's got his teammate Bowler in behind. Championship leader Sam Muir, Colby Warren, Capel, Harris, Dawson, Mueller, Mazzomo and Lawrence fighting for P10 at the moment. They've got Ellie Gardner hot on their heels. Lawrence wants this inside line if he can get it here on Mazzomo. Up through turn 7 now, up Piper they go. They're still side by side as he ride on board with Lawrence. There's Mazzomo peeking his way through. Up towards turn 8 now. Can he hold this inside line over Simon Mazzomo? Still to the right of the car. And Mazzomo makes it stick on the exit. Great side by side action between them. They race on further towards the final couple of corners here as well. Oh, just getting loose was Lawrence, but he's providing us with a great show in his first outing here in the series. As we mentioned, Job Stewart leading the way. Bowler and Muir currently on the podium. And we've had a blink here from Ben Pedersen further back in the field. He is struggling at the moment. Well, hopefully he can continue on throughout the rest of this race. As in behind with Steve Tonkin going wide. Down at turn 1, there's a massive amount of debris down there. You can see it from the lap 1, turn 1 incident, and it's only going to be more dragged back onto the circuit as well. And here's Ben Pedersen as he tries to fight his way back through. He'll be hoping just to keep himself neat and tidy. Up the inside of Craig Schultz he goes. We know he's got the pace to fight with this field. He's got to get himself up towards the pointy end if he wants to take a big chunk of points. Next position, which is Johnny Rowe, is the next position for points in this race. It's the final position for points as Pedersen tucks it up the inside, takes the position, and now looks to push on, try and get past Harry Dodds if he can. So the comeback train is on here for Pedersen. We've got 954 Sim Racing in the chat. I'm going to assume it is Simon Mazzomo. Quite possibly, I'm not sure. But I mean, the 669 car, I mean, he had solid pace in qualifying. A little bit of contact on the rear end of Dodd's car. Oh, a bit of contact through turn 9. They go. Dodds has been spun round. Not sure if there was netcode or not. But Pedersen trying to force his way through. That there could hurt him. Could be a penalty coming his way if he's not careful. Next car up ahead is Stacey Boyd on the end of this long, long train. And for Stewart, well, he'll be sitting pretty. Hardly any pressure on him. His teammate's in behind. His teammate can be his rear gunner to championship leader Sam Muir at the moment. For Colby Warren, he's got some work to do now tonight as well. He sits still within the championship hunt. Only missed one round thus far this season. So hopefully he can score himself some solid points tonight. Keep himself in the fight. Trying to challenge Sam Muir for this title. But he needs a solid round, and he needs Muir to have an absolute mare over the next 4 weeks of the season because he wants to properly challenge for it. Great to have you all out there watching along with us as well. But for Warren, I mean, he's got to try and as I said, just score some solid points on the board and to hope that Muir has a mare. Maybe he's changed his name to Sam Mare if he has one over the next few weeks. Alan Dawson, who's been ultra consistent as well as in behind them, is Tim Nicol. And I believe Jared McLeod may have been involved in something. I do apologise for missing it there. And Nicol's back on track and they look to continue on in a solid part of this race. We're only 5 minutes in. Like, we have not gone very far at all. And the fact that we've had a couple of big tangles already, well, it says to me that we could be on for a similar night to last week at Bathurst, where we could have something absolutely spectacular on the cards for us as well. But we will see. Only time will tell. Just like a clock, the time will tell us what will occur throughout the rest of this one. 10 minutes left on the clock, though. Here in race 1, Job Stewart is in the controlling position at this stage. Warren, well, he's hot on the heels of Muir, and he'd like to put a challenge into him if he could, as Stacey Boyd has just gone round down at turn 4, and it looks to be, I would say he did it on his own. He was right at the back of the train, didn't really have anyone hot on his heels, so he gets the car going again. But through all of this carnage, we've started to get a little bit spread out here. Just look further up the road, though. Jared McLeod trying to chase down Rodney Golan. He was involved in the incident on lap 1, turn 1 with Kurt Chapman, was Rodney. Currently been called an NFA by race control, so nothing to worry about there for Rodney or for Kurt. I have heard from RC as well that Ben Pedersen, for the contact with Harry Dodds, will be receiving a pit lane start for race 2. So no matter how far he gets up, he'll be starting at the back of the field. So right now he's got to make the most of it and try and get as many positions as he can, just to make up for the points loss that he'll now be having, as Lawrence is off the road at turn 1. Off the road he goes. Let's quickly look at it here for Lawrence's perspective. So down towards turn 1, trying to get past Mez. Oh, and he's just locked up, and straight off the road he goes. Oh, it's a tough moment. It really is. And when it happens like that, you're just scrambling to get something back into this race, if you possibly could. So he traverses back on, gets back in behind his teammate, Paul Wilson. Oh, and it's only gotten worse for him. Dirty tyres. Round she went. And for Stefan there, it's not the night he would have dreamed of after securing such a good qualifying position. It's a real shame. Further up, though, Sam Muir, Colby Warren putting the pressure here on Matt Bowler for P2, so he's really trying to hold them back now from getting up to Job Stewart. Doesn't matter how much Stewart wins by, he's only going to get the same amount of points if he does, so let's get some battling happening. Let's get the battling for the points positions. Muir knows, though, that Stewart, I mean, he's got a monumental mountain to climb to get past him in the championship. I mean, it is honestly monumental. For Job, he has to be able to make up a full round loss of points to Samuel, plus then some that he would have, you know, obviously he gained some back for what his previous drop round was, which was round 2. But that still wasn't a perfect amount of points, so he's got a lot of work to do if he hopes to get back into this championship fight. He needs Muir, realistically, to just have an absolute, as I said, a mare one week where he just doesn't get as many points as what he crucially needs. It's going to be a struggle for him. We'll see how he goes there. Matt Lofthouse battling away with Jake Burton and Craig Schultz just ahead of him at this stage. Well, a heap of chats are there already. Great to have you guys watching along with us. We really, really appreciate it. As Rodney Golan has gone off the road again, and this time it's at turn 2, and it's more gravel that's being dragged onto it. So Johnny Rowan, Stefan Lawrence and co now have to be careful of all that gravel back there, just in case you get loose through 3 and it costs you some hard positions, as Lofthouse has gone round now at turn 4. So more and more drivers really hurting here, possibly from the changed conditions. Of course, we mentioned it was wet at the start of practice. Well, we've now gotten to 34-degree track temps. Sun is shining for these sorts of temperatures out here. The ambient's only 25, so the track temp is really holding in this heat and this energy being brought in from the sun above, and it's going to make it grippy, but it's going to be tough for them just to keep the cars under them, just to keep themselves in check. As I mentioned, though, a heap of chats out there already with us. Mez is out there, Sam Muir, Steve Tonkin too is watching along, especially. It's great to have you guys watching along with us. JJN on the chat saying I'm responding to Mez, who said, I puck it a bit seeing Stefan in the mirror. JJ is saying, I do the same anytime I see Johnny Rowe in my mirror. So, but fair claim. Fair claim. And you'll understand why if you've watched any of the Rod Dot Cup on Friday evenings over the last 5 weeks. It has been chaos. It has been absolute chaos on those Friday evenings, but we love it. It's been so much fun to get out there and see just some drivers having a crack at some oval racing. This next week at Langley, 200 laps. It's going to be a fantastic time for these drivers to really have a crack at now some short track racing in those ARCA cars. Here is running it a little bit wide was Bowler at turn 6, so a little bit more of that gravel being brought back onto the circuit once again. If we're not careful, we're going to get into a sand trap scenario. It's one of the big tests. It's the test of the debris system that's been put in place from iRacing. And it seems that they've been almost making it more slippery over the last season or so. I saw some issues with it at Road America on Saturday during the Vets race as well. And it seems to just be catching out a couple of drivers here tonight too. So hopefully we can get that sorted and try and make it as close to reality as possible. And just keep these cars feeling as lovely as possible as well. JD is saying, if I recall correctly, Daniel Harris wanted more rain and must have done a rain dance for his return. I think he did, honestly. I think he definitely did. Harris does give the energy that he would rain dance just to get a small rain in the series, which we appreciate some rain. We like getting some rain happening while we're racing. It spices things up. It changes it up for us as Mazomo has gone off track down at turn 4. So more gravel being brought back on now, and the defending champion has now dropped outside of the top 10 here. And with only 3.5 minutes left to run, he's got to try and fight his way back inside of the top 10. And with Lawford ahead of him, who's shown some great pace this season, that is not going to be an easy task for the 9.5 Sim Sports driver, who's just trying to get the gravel off those tyres and keep himself in check. But I said that the more that gets brought back on, the looser the surface of the track's going to get, and that's going to be a hell of a lot scarier than how it is now for these drivers, especially these mid-pack drivers too. So many cars amongst it with you. It really, really just holsters and makes you just really scared. Really, really scared that you're going to lose it at any moment and end up off the road. Bez saying too much front bias. Well, maybe you should have put it more rearward, Bez, to point out the obvious on that one. Not as much front bias, a bit more rear bias, I think would help you out in that scenario, as he just makes the move on Angus Lawford in towards turn 1. So 2.5 minutes left to run now. Job Stewart looks to have this race wrapped up. 3 seconds back is Matthew Bowler, who's under pressure here from Sam Muir and Colby Warren, battling away for P2. They are at this stage. Should be 2 more laps left to go. Okayama, I think it'll be 1 more when we cross the line though, so be white flag next time by, if the maths are correct, if the maths are mathing, as they would sometimes say to us. Only the 2 incidents reported tonight for race 1 at this stage. Kurt Chapman, Rodney Golan on lap 1, Doddsy and Pedersen lap 2. As we said, Ben Pedersen with a pit lane start coming his way into race 2, so he's got some work to do starting at the back of the field. He's up to P15 at the moment, so it is some points on the board for him at this stage, but as I said, the work is yet to be done. Joe Stewart, though, round the final couple of corners now. 1 lap to go of Okayama for Job Stewart. And he'll get the checkered flag when he crosses the line on the next lap. So white flag for Job Stewart. Barney's out there waving the white flag for us right now. So he's only, he was away for 2 weeks, but it hasn't taken him long to get back to winning ways and back to putting a stamp on the front of the field with the initials JS next to it as well. For Bowler, well, after his spectacular performance last week, he backs it up here in race 1 with a podium if he can hold off Muir and Warren, but the pressure will still be building. It'll still be at a maximum level here for Bowler as they run down the back straight. Who is going to be willing to push for position? Well, Muir's trying to. Bowler's going to cover. And now he's stuck right in the middle of the road. And here comes Warren on the inside of Muir. Up into P3 goes Warren. Could that have been a massive mistake from Sam Muir? Gave away a possible podium at this stage of the race. Could be a massive factor come the end of the season. As Job Stewart, though, traverses up through turn 9. And now puts the foot down up towards turn 10. It's one corner left to run of Okayama here in race 1 this evening. And for Job Stewart, it is back to winning ways once again. Race winner in race 1 this evening at Okayama International Circuit. He was away for 2 weeks, but nothing's changed when he's come back. Matt Bowler, P2 in the end, with Sam Muir. Sorry, no, it changed the positions for whatever reason. Colby Warren with P3 in the end there. Muir P4. Daniel Harris, great return for him, P5. Lachlan Capel, Alan Dawson, Ryan Mueller, Ellie Gardner, and Shannon Fever makes up our top 10. Mazomo, Lawford, Akers, Pedersen made it all the way back up to P14 with Linzell in behind him. Only down 2 in that race. Not a bad performance for him. Fitzpatrick, Wilson, McLeod, Schuler, Burton, Nickel, Schultz, Cook, and Golan fighting all the way to the end. Lawrence, Tonkin, Rowe, Chapman, Watson, Lofthouse, Dodds, Stacey Boyd had an incident. And then Aaron Smith at the back of the field. But for Job Stewart, great start to his night. Race win on the board here in race 1. We'll see if he can back it up in race 2. Starting all the way back in P33 on the road. It is not going to be an easy task for him. I'll tell you that right now for free. Matt Bowler would tell you different. He'd tell you, well, it was a piece of piss. It was very easy, but he made it look easy last week at Bathurst in Mr. Bowler. And I don't think it's going to be the case again tonight. Time will tell, though, as we head in towards the second race of the evening, second heat of the evening as well. And has actually gridded them up incorrectly. It's gridded them up in the positions of their initial gridding. I've just noticed I'm going to have to reload the overlays, so we'll quickly do that whilst everyone gets out onto the starting grid here this evening, and we'll get ourselves processing forward. If you're watching along with us here tonight as well, get into the chat once again. We appreciate you guys watching along with us here for these races this season, and especially for supporting us as well. When we couldn't be live yesterday, I know there's a couple of leagues we're going head-to-head with right now, so appreciate you guys coming in and watching along with us and supporting the series, whether you race in the series or one of your family members or your friends races in the series as well. We so appreciate it. Steve Tonkin saying Reverse Grid Madness coming right up. I would expect no less after last week, if I'm honest with you, Steve. Wouldn't expect anything less off the back of that. So, just to give you the rundown before we get the lights up for this final race of the season, we mentioned last week our calendar for next season. And it's a real doozy. An absolute doozy coming up for you next season. I mean, I'm excited. It's going to be such an incredible season coming your way. We've got a quick amount of time we can quickly look at it here. So this is what's coming your way next season for Season 3. Now, the sign-ups, well, the pre-sign-ups will be going live very soon. We will start on the 22nd of September, so we'll get a good couple of weeks break in between seasons. Laguna Seca will start us out, Homestead, Miami, Chicago, Road America, Montreal makes up the first half of the season, Alton Park, Zandvoort, Algarve, Imola, and then we'll go racing in round 10 on the Pro Series finale weekend, Saturday night, the 22nd of November at Bathurst. And then we end out the season the Monday after on the 24th for our finale round at Belle Isle for round 11 there. More details to follow very soon, though. Lights up for these drivers. Aaron Smith begins it on pole ahead of Stacey Boyd as we're underway at Okayama for race number 2. What sort of carnage could it bring? It brought mass carnage to us last week as drivers are just traversing through turn 1 Multiple cars trying to fight their way through if they can. As we run up through turn 2. Oh, we can just see a little bit of biffing and barging there from a couple of cars further back, including Alan Dawson, who's trying to fight his way forward. Look at the scramble of cars back here. Oh my God, it is an absolute... I've said it quite a few times as Shannon Fever goes round. It's a bit of a schmozzle, really, as Dawson has to take evasive action off the road. And that car there is absolutely fried. How has this occurred down there? I must know. So where is Fever? There he is there, inside line. Gets a bit of a touch. He's got that silver fern next to the car. So he gets knocked by, I think it was Daniel Harris. Quite possibly. Let's see if we can get a closer view here. No, that's even worse. Here we go. So he goes round onto the grass, locks brakes, takes them off, re-rolls back on the track, and in the way of Alan Dawson. That there is a mammoth moment in this race. I mean, unbelievable stuff. And I'd just like to point out as well, I did mention subscribing. We are only 3 subscriptions away from 200 here on the channel, and we'd love to get there by the end of the season. So we do implore you, please, if you are watching and you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Get involved, get into the chat, comment once the stream is over as well. Hit the like button too, we would so appreciate it. It's been a massive amount of support as, Gary Watson and Rodney Gollan have made contact through turn 9. Cars taking evasive action there. So more and more carnage ensues as drivers battle their way forward. Matt Bowler, well, he's already fought his way up the field. Lap 2 now, though. Oh, Matt Bowler's at the subscription. He said 2 subscribers. Thank you, Matt Bowler. As we run through turn number 1, Matty Bowler is just trying to fight his way through the field here. Probably one of the favourites to make his way through the field as Tim Nicol rejoins the circuit up at the exit of turn 2. Been incredible stuff. As we run up through 4, McLeod with Bowler making it 3 wide down the back straight with Fitzpatrick in tow. They're trying to get past Johnny Rowe if they can. How well is this going to go for them? On board with Bowler, under brakes. Oh, it's massively under brakes. Contact happens with Rowe, and he's spun round in behind. And it is carnage once again. Carnage ensuing once again. That there could be struggle street for Matthew Bowler. Oh, he was on such a run as well. We'll see what the stewards say about it. But it is action aplenty here in this one. 3 minutes into this race, multiple cars involved in incidents thus far. Ignore that incident. Oh, Craig Schultz off the road. Possible door from Joe Stewart there. Not sure, though, what race control will say about it. Lap 3 getting underway, though. And multiple drivers are just trying to fight their way through the field. As you can just see the scrambling of position for these drivers. Muir at the moment got massive pressure in behind him. Oh, that's until off track, and Muir's into the wall and collides into Fitzpatrick, who's rolled over, and Smith's been caught out with one of the Lifeline cars ahead of them as well. It is a massive incident down here at turn 3. That there was monumental. Absolutely huge. Aaron Smith's car is in absolute shatters. It's bound to be a safety car. What a massive incident. And it all started, I think we can agree, it all started with Lindsell heading off track at the exit of turn 2. That was absolutely huge. In the slow-mo for you now. So Lindsell goes off, gets it loose. Muir then in behind him. Looks like he's trying to maybe take evasive action, I'm not sure, but he turns across the nose of the Riot Sim Sports car, bangs it straight into the concrete barrier. The G-force ricochets him back into Angus Lawford and Blake Fitzpatrick ahead of him. But then we've got to watch Jared McLeod through all this. He comes up the road. Aaron Smith has a moment on his own. Ricochets back on. There is Fitzpatrick's car rolling. And then Smith gets absolutely just pure mid-90s bulk tackled to the ground by Jared McLeod. It is a massive incident down here. A massive, massive incident. And that there is, I mean, I am lost for words. That is one of the worst incidents I think I've ever seen in this series. I'm not saying it's bad because of how it happened and whose fault it was. I'm not claiming that. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Safety car's been called, of course, because why would it not be? There's about 6 cars parked up on the road between turn 2 and turn 4. Wow. What a moment. That there, JJ Endo actually really narrating it perfectly. If you've ever played the old F1 games by Codemaster, you know, sort of the mid-2010s, that was a big one. Let me know you're okay, please. I mean, it played in all our minds from big crashes like that. That was massive. And this here has got massive championship implications. I mean, look at that. Fitzpatrick on his side over there next to the wall. Smith parked up. But the big one is the championship leader coming into this round, Sam Muir, who at this stage will be getting no points for this race. I mean, that there is a massive moment. We are so lucky that this is in simulated racing and not real racing. I mean, that could have been diabolical if it was real racing, and we hope that those guys are okay, obviously. I mean, not sure if they're running direct drives, and the wheels would have been doing everything on board the rigs. So that was a massive moment, and yeah, hopefully no one broke their wrists or their thumbs getting caught up in the wheels. Hopefully they're all okay. Hopefully their egos are okay, because that might be the only thing that's been hurt in that moment there. For Stacey Boyd, it's been a good race start from him. I think, though, the one who's had probably the best run of luck in this race is probably Stefan Lawrence or Simon Mazzomo. I mean, these guys have managed to fight their way forward in an incredible effort in this one. Just to read through some of your chats out there. Mez in the chat, Air Fitzpatrick, Matty Bowler, that just puts mine to shame, not going to lie. Sorry, I didn't know it was Sim Racers Got Talent out here. Sam in the chat saying, if I'm going to have a shunt, I'm glad it was a spectacular one. You know what, Sam, that there, I'm glad I've saved this replay. I'm saying it now, that's going into the intro when we make a new one for this series. I mean, that is going in there straight away. Surely there's some bonus points for that cool trick for Blake. We'll give him one extra championship point for it. Maybe we'll do that. Matty's saying, though, to be fair, my penalty didn't apply to the start of race 3. So, well, this is true, Matty. It's true. It's not getting applied to you until the start of race 3. So you're in a solid position right now of P11. Not too bad. Definitely some solid points on offer for you in this one. Job is just struggling to get through the field tonight. He really struggles in these rush rounds, it seems. Struggled back at Red Bull Ring. Wasn't here last week at Bathurst. The win's still on, Matty. The win is still on. I mean, it's not out of your hands just yet. And we know you got some good pace. And even with the safety car, I mean, can happen. It can indeed happen. So I think the big thing now is we need to remember, so obviously Muir very likely cannot get points in this race. He's multiple laps down. So that there is at least, I'm trying to think what it would be now. Well, it's 240 for the race win, be 120 for race 3. 60 points that he could be giving up here. So if a guy like Mez, for example, can really take advantage of this, get some good points on the board, all of a sudden, championship battle's back on, and it's as close as ever. So we are on for something here. It's really starting to brew, really starting to just get to a nice simmer for this season. I'm going to steal some of the things I would normally say for vets here. But we could be on for something very tasty come the end of the season, because that there is something that both Mez needed, Andrew Dawson needed, although he's at the back of the field in P29, so he needs to get some points too, and what Colby Warren needed as well. So it's reignited something under them. It's reignited the fire to fight their way towards glory this season. The safety car is going to pull into pit lane, driven by Lucas Burt, and Stacey Boyd will have control of the field. Could Boyd be on for his first race win here tonight? Or is it going to go to possibly Mr. Stonkin himself, Stephen Tonkin, Martin Lofthouse, Kurt Chapman, Marcus Cook? Could it be Stefan Lawrence on debut? Could it be young Jake Burton, Harry Dodds, defending champion Simon Mazzomo? Maybe he wins 2 weeks in a row in race 2. Maybe Paul Wilson sneaks there, or could it be Matty Bowler, who is the master of battling his way forward? Green flag flies at Okayama. And let's see who gets the benefits of their gains in this one, as Boyd leads us up towards turn 1. What will we get across the rest of this race as lap 6 begins? Oh, and it's been a massive incident down at 1 already. Schuler and Cook. And who was that off the road? Was that Paul Wilson back there? So multiple cars once again just scrambling for position here, trying to get something out of this race. There's tyre smoke up ahead of them, as I think that might have been Kurt Chapman off the road. It is Kurt Chapman off the road. Oh, and it's big contact. And I think Jared McLeod up there. This has really started to go off at this point. Let's look at this pack of cars battling away. Mazzomo, Warren, Harris, Bowler, Stewart. You could have looked at this at the start of the season and thought these here are championship contenders. Oh, as Harris gets stored out of the way and round he goes at Piper. Lucky not the end of the ball. Holds the brakes. Capel had to try and take evasive action if he could, even with Mueller in behind him. So the race 2 scramble is it still surprises me week after week, and it still makes me laugh when we race in these rush rounds at how chaotic it truly is. But it's something special that we offer, and one that I'm very proud of. Lap 7 though, 11 and a half minutes into this race. Not long left to run now, and Boyd is looking as strong as ever to take home his first win of the season. Colby Warren looks to take home a good chunk of points comparatively to Sam Muir, who's back out on track. He's just gotten past a couple of cars, actually. In fact, he could still be on for a point or two, because he is back onto lap 6 here. So he could, realistically speaking, get past Chapman, who's about to come into pit lane. That'll be P26. Harris, Wilson, McLeod are in pit lane too. Could be some points on offer here for Sam Muir. For those drivers who are battling with him for the championship in terms of Colby Warren and Simon Mazzomo, even for Job Stewart, they could do with a race win here, and they could do with trying to fight their way forward and just really solidifying some points on the board as Dodsey leads them past Jake Burton. Warren's trying to get by him now as well. Burton gets unsettled. Massive wiggle on board that car. Oh, and now it's contact with Mazzomo, and Burton has gone round. Jake Burton has gone round and into the wall. Not sure who was at fault for that one, but Mazzomo, well, he's going to have to be cautious. doesn't want to. I mean, he's still yet to get a license point next to his name. He has had a penalty previously, but no license points to account for. So how long can Dodds hold off Colby Warren? He's only got a few minutes left to do it. 13 minutes and 10 seconds into this race, so still 2 laps to run. Oh, as Warren went for the outside line, and Dodds, he's just been run wide, and Bowler's snuck back through. As Warren rejoins the circuit, hasn't gotten in anyone's way, that's good. But for Bowler, could he be on to match his performance of last week? I mean, he's had a podium in race 1. He's only a few away from another podium here, as I believe we have just hit 200 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone who has hit that subscribe button. We so appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I mean, I don't think I can thank you enough for the support. It has been absolutely spectacular. I know we're only a small bead of sand, as Tonkin is now taking the lead from Lawrence, and Boyd's dropped back now as well. So these guys are really starting to battle for the race lead. Bowler wants to catch up to them. Yeah, I know that we're only a small grain of sand on a very large beach, but the support does mean a world to me. Wouldn't matter if it's 200 or if it's 200,000 or 2 million. It's a very special feeling to have that sort of support, so thank you guys so much. 1 lap left to run though at Okayama. And Stephen Tonkin will lead us across the line to begin this final lap on board the JWM car. So, under pressure here from the debuting Stefan Lawrence tonight. Boyd's up there too. Bowler's got pace. Can Tonkin survive and take home a miraculous first victory for himself, taking advantage of the reverse grid format here? It could be on for him. It really could be on for him, but Lawrence is hot on his heels and he wants to try and sneak this from him as well if he can. Tonkin holding that sort of midline through turn 4. On the inside is Lawrence. Is it going to be side by side down the straight? They make minor contact there. Lawrence has to back out of it and tucks in behind Steve Tonkin here down towards turn 5. But here comes Lawrence again up the inside. Can he make the move stick this time by Lawrence on the inside line, Tonkin on the outside, and Stefan Lawrence has snuck right through on the JWM car. Is there going to be a comeback here for position? Boyd's now on the heels of him as Bowler sneaks it up on him as well. So Bowler onto the podium. Could he match the performance of last week? Because he looks to try and sneak P2 here from Steve Tonkin as well. And it would be an incredible effort if he could get this job done. I think the win might be away from him, but his P2 is Bowler, the master, it seems, of the rush rounds, as Lawrence comes round the final couple of corners here in race 2. And an incredible effort from him up towards the start-finish line. First night on the road here in the IRWC. First race win for him as well in race 2. Only took him 2 attempts of flag-to-flag racing to get the job done. Bowler has come home in P1. Tonkin actually has been classified P2. What has happened to Lawrence? He pulled up there. Oh, something's happening with the order of things. I'm not sure what it is. Mazomo's just crossed the line as well. Oh, he had a slowdown. He had a slowdown. Oh, no. Poor Stefan. A slowdown to the line, and that has cost him the race win. What a shame. For whatever reason, the timing tower is claiming Simon Mazomo as the race winner. I'm unsure why, if I'm honest with you. I mean, a lot of cars have towed back to pit lane. Now it's got Jake Burton in the race lead, so I'm not even sure what has happened. I think it's given Matt Bowler the win. He got, slow down second to last corner. What a shame for Stefan. What a real shame for Stefan on that incident there. I mean, your heart has to go out to him. Let's have a look. Oh, I can't even have a look. It's swapping sessions down to the warm-up. So that's a shame there for Stefan, who just misses out on a race win worth of points for himself. Yeah. He put the brakes on there right across the line, so that's a real shame. But warm-up session is about to get on the way, so we're going to take this time just to give thanks to our series sponsors, VRS. Thank you everyone as well who's been watching along with us here tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very shortly after this quick message from VRS about their new VRS pedals that they've got on offer.
These are the VRS Dark Force Pro pedals. So it's a high-end product, stainless steel construction with an industrial aesthetic. Very, very adjustable. All three pedals, the pedal faces in terms of height, depth, angle are fully adjustable, and overall pedal angle is also adjustable. Now, if we look at the throttle pedal first, we have quite a unique design here. So we have a rodless spring, which doesn't quite look right to the eye, but functionally performs extremely well. Absolutely no friction whatsoever, so really nice smooth response. And we have a lot of adjustability here in terms of initial starting force, preload, and also overall force and pedal travel. So if we move on to the brake, we have similar levels of adjustability, a very high-end, heavy-duty construction. We have the blue spring on here at the moment, which tolerates a 65 kilogram maximum force. Also supplied is the optional red spring, which doubles that to 130 kilograms. These are linear springs, which is not normally how a real-life brake pedal feels. So we have this very clever mechanism on the back here, which basically turns that into a progressive, more realistic feeling, which gives you quite a decent bit of travel for low-level trail braking, and then more of a ramp up when you're really braking much harder. And we have this tie rod at the top, which is fully adjustable, along with preload, so you can really fine-tune that exact force shape to your preference. On the clutch, we have a similar level of adjustability in terms of pedal face and also the shape of the curve. So we try to emulate a clutch plate, which is stiff initially and then flattens out as the clutch gives way. So that's emulated here with a small amount of adjustability, including overall travel as well. So we're very happy with this product, and we hope you are too.
Great to be back from that one there, ladies and gentlemen. Massive thank you though to VRS for coming on board this year as the title sponsor of the Porsche Cup Series. You can find a direct link to VRS down in the description below. We've also got direct link to SPP Graphics as well. If you want to get your dirt bike looking as sexy as possible before you cover it in mud or inevitably hit a tree or a rock or something and scratch it all up, send Johnny a message over at SPP Graphics to get you guys looking as sexy as possible out there. To us here at Infinity Broadcasting as well, we're one of the series sponsors as well as obviously the broadcaster too, so you can support us by hitting the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon too. We've just hit 200 subscribers, so massive appreciation to you guys for that one. And then for Black Art Designs as well, if you want to get your sim racing car looking as sexy as possible before you inevitably get into a big one between turn 2 and turn 3 at Okayama and see your car going pirouetting through the wall, through the air and into the wall possibly. So myself, Hamish Munro, a message on Discord. We'll get you guys sorted with some sexy paints as well. You can message me on Discord in regards to getting in contact for Infinity Broadcasting stuff or Black Art Design stuff as well. Happy to talk about either with you, or if you just want to chat, send me a message and we'll have a chat as well. You guys can also support me Sunday evening, starting this Sunday, over at my Twitch channel, HM Injection as well. We'll be starting a playthrough of Pokemon Soul Silver over on Twitch, so you can come and check me out there too. So massive appreciations to everyone who's been supporting us thus far. Matty Bowler mentioning, managed a last to second and a second last to first. Just want to do the last to first challenge here. Well, we'll see. We'll see how you go, Matty, if you can get that job done. Mez claiming we need more rush rounds. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We'll have to see how everyone feels about that. Steve Tonga saying, imagine one at Long Beach. Oh, Steve, there was a very big temptation from myself to make Long Beach a rush round this season, but I thought the better of it. I thought, no, we'll make it a sprint. Don't want to put way too much pressure on everyone as well. Sam saying after Bathurst, I would have agreed with you, Mez. Not so much. Yeah, I think they work better. The rush rounds, I think, work particularly well for those longer circuits, as JJ Andrews said in the chat there. Maybe on a long track like Spa or Le Mans, they work best on those longer tracks because it helps from the whole field being too spread out. You know, the big problem with Bathurst is it works best with an endurance race where when we get that short form racing happening of really short races, we get some absolutely spectacular racing happening for us as well. So that's kind of the benefit of it at those longer tracks. I think places like Spa, even Circuit in the Americas, Le Mans, maybe not Nürburgring. Nürburgring's a bit hard. It's a bit too long, I think. The Bend probably work well there. Bathurst, as we've already seen, Silverstone, places like that, and Road America too. Places where the lap time's over 2 minutes long or around 2 minutes long. That's where the format really works well. And I think we've learnt that over these last 2 seasons, that these shorter tracks maybe don't really suit them all that well, where the longer tracks are much better suited because it keeps the racing nice and close across a much bigger circuit, which is what we want to see. So, that there is a good one going forward as well. One thing we can confirm as we get into this race here with our inverted top 10 is there is currently how many days left? 41 hours left on our re-poll final single vote for the next premium series here in the IRWC between the GTE and the Ferrari 296 Challenge. If you haven't voted in that, you can find it in the Future Series polls channel in the Discord in the paddock section. 41 hours left. Get your votes in. Currently, GTE is swamping the 296 Challenge, 17 votes to 8. That will be being ran on a Wednesday night starting next iRacing season. It'll be starting on the 24th of September, the Wednesday after round 1 of the Porsche Cup Series. And the calendar for it that we have put together for the GTEs, at least, if it were to win, is very, very special. More about that, though, in future and how that series is going to work. Lights up, though, for these drivers out at Okayama for one final time. Tim Nicol gets us underway off the front row of the grid with Ryan Mueller in behind him. Capel and Warren battling away as well. Stewart and Mazzomo up through turn 1 they run. How are we going to go across the first lap here with possibilities of early chaos throughout this one? Boyd battling away with Cook. They've got Akers and Schultz chasing them down as well. Mueller just struggling to keep position at the moment as they run up towards turn 4. Let's just see how they all survive. Exit of 4 now, though, they come. Race leaders trying to lead us through. Bowler with the pit lane start, remember. So he got that race win in race 1. He's got 30 minutes to get up to the front of the field here. And he hopes to match it as Boyd on the outside. Akers minor contact. Oh, and as they run through, there's overlap between them. And around goes John Akers with Stacey Boyd as well. And it's a car park at turn 6. Multiple cars being held up through there. Cars having to go everywhere to take avoiding action. And it is a mammoth amount of gravel that has been dragged back on the circuit. Stacey Boyd is off the road down at turn 6, or turn 7, sorry. Can he get that car rolling? He looks to try to. Or will it be an early safety car here for race 3? As we run round, Warren leads the way. Job Stewart, Lachlan Capel, Tim Nicol, Simon Mazzomo, Harry Dodds, Ryan Mueller, Marcus Cook, Craig Schultz, Martin Lofthouse, the top 10. Work to do for Sam Mueller tonight. He's up to P23 at the moment. But as I said, work to do. So Warren leads the way in a fantastic effort. Mazzomo trying to battle away here with Tim Nicol and Harry Dodds and Ryan Mueller. There's a bit of a dooring between them as Mazzomo goes round, lights up the rears, trying to get it going again. Back on the track. Lawford takes evasive action there. Could be an unsafe rejoin as there's been contact further back in the field between McLeod and Smith. So it is going on all throughout this field here as Paul Wilson's now off the road as well. Multiple cars making mistakes, it seems, here early on in this one. So as Warren leads the way, Stewart P2, Capel, Nicol, Mueller, Dodds, Cook, Schultz, Lofthouse and Lawford make up the field as Mizomo is still dropping spots and is now behind Pedersen and Harris. You'd almost argue it's season one all over again, as these guys were known to battle away for that championship to the very end. As Gary Watson's just had a moment further back as well. Nürburgring plus Nords when? Maybe when we offer an 80-minute race in the Porsche Cup car. Maybe that's when. So Colby Warren sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:32.01 that last time by. Stewart and Capel. Well, Stewart's given up a heap of time to Warren here, but he's trying to make the most out of gaining some good points over Sam Muir, who is struggling to battle his way through the field. So this could be big points lost tonight for Sam Muir and his championship hopes. In fact, he doesn't have a drop round available to him. He used that technically in round one when he missed the first round of the season. So he's really put himself back onto the back foot here and has got to try and maximise as best he can, as Rowe is now off at turn 4. Get him a boat and an oar. He's having to row off the beach to get that car back onto the road. Lawford just dropping position here to Mizomo. I mean, we saw these guys, Lawford at least taking evasive action earlier on in the race from Mizomo on his rejoin. Or maybe Jack Oz. That might be an option. What a way to start the year. 90 minutes at the Nords. That would be intense. Absolutely intense. It's still early doors. Still plenty of time for Mez to get back through the field. So Warren, who's building gap here, 1:31.67 the last lap. Stewart only did a 1:32.1 there, so maybe in cruise control, maybe trying to save fuel to do this race in a one-stop strategy. We've seen it happen before. Ryan Mueller with Tim Nicol hot on his heels at this stage as well. So these guys will be looking to continue their battle throughout the rest of this one if they can. I'll be interested to see the kind of comeback from guys like Harris and Pedersen and Mizomo in this race. I mean, they're a bit further down. Obviously, the comeback from Lawrence after his slowdown at the end of the last race that cost him the race win. I mean, Matt Bowler as well. I mean, he's up to P19 at this stage, so he's on a phenomenal run of form. Muir in behind him too, trying to make his way forward. Rodney Gollan with Ellie Gardner battling in behind him. As Martin Lofthouse drops a couple of spots here to Pedersen and Harris. Although Pedersen runs it way wide. Here comes Harris up the inside. Takes that position. Lofthouse comes back and even Mizomo even takes one too. So Pedersen drops a couple of positions there of a single mistake. And here comes Lawford on the inside of Mizomo as well. 3 wide at turn 8. At Redgate down there. And they're still running it 2 wide up here. So these guys are no strangers to wanting to battle away. And they're not putting any feet wrong at the moment as Pedersen's into pit road. And I mentioned this guy, Ben Pedersen, he was struggling with COVID ever since Wednesday last week. Still struggling with it tonight. Hopefully it's not becoming too much of an issue for him. Warren, though, new fastest lap of the race, 1:31.66. So lap after lap, he is continuing to outpace Job Stewart here in race 3. Stewart to Capel, Mueller and Nicol, the top 5. Cook blinking in behind them. Dodsey, Schultz, Harris and Lofthouse make up the top 10. But Mizomo would love to get by Lofthouse if he could, and Harris, well, he wants to get past Craig Schultz if he can as well. As we right on board down the back straight up towards turn 5. Gets that job done. That was a solid move there from Daniel Harris. So just picking his way through the field as best he can. Trying to take any positions he can as well. Still got 23 minutes left. So plenty of time for action to happen. Plenty of time for carnage to happen too across this race. For Sam Muir, he is struggling to battle his way through the field. He's on the back of Blake Fitzpatrick. He's not going to make it particularly easy for him. And there's Alan Dawson, Matt Bowler as well. Oh, there's John Akers, and I think Matt Bowler may have made contact with him. That's an interesting one as Lawford, Dawson and Fitzpatrick are all in pit lane. So some early stops here at the end of this one. I would hope they're not drive-throughs. I've not seen anything from race control in terms of applying them. Bowl saying fair pump play on Shirley. I didn't really catch all of it, to be fair, Matty, so I can't really comment. Schultz, though, with his teammate on the inside. Mazzomo comes past him there. And now Schultz might play the team game and trying to hold back Lofthouse and Lawrence if he can. Let's see it. I mean, so Mez has got around about 1.7 seconds up to Harris. Lawrence is on the back of this too. Let's sit on board with him, though, for the next section here up to the line. See what he does. Let's crank it up for a minute. Just see how he attacks this part of the circuit. Up the inside goes Lawrence at turn one onto Craig Schultz. Great move from him there. Fever into pit lane. Oh, Jake Burton. Oh, big blink there with Schuler in behind him as well. And I think Schuler might have just dropped. That's a real shame for Alex Schuler. He is off the clock here in this server as Rodney Gollan goes round at turn two. Wow, what a shame for Alex Schuler. Could have been a good, solid chunk of points for him here tonight as Gollan gets back going once again. But this battle of Lawrence, Schultz, Lofthouse, and now Jake Burton on the back of them is really starting to heat up. And it's all for P10 on the road. And if anyone goes off ahead of them, obviously, better positions on offer. Jenna saying heard it here first from the bowling alley. I mean, it has become a bit of a bowling alley here tonight at Okayama, I must say. Quite a few cars have been rolled over in the process. So Lawrence just starting to build gap now over Schultz as Burton comes down pit road. So into pit lane he comes, and we'll see. Oh, sure, we love to hear that, mate. Love to hear that. Even when it drops, you're back again. We love that happening from the drivers out there. So fair play to you, Alex, just for continuing on. Massive shout out for that one there. So Colby Warren is driving like an absolute freak at the moment. He's consistently driving faster than Job Stewart, who is sitting P2 in cruise control at this stage, probably saving some fuel. Let's listen out for it. He is short shifting. Massive lift and coast. So yeah, I'd say Job's fuel saving a bit here. Maybe seeing if he can make a one-stop. Sorry, or a no-stop strategy, I should say. It'd be marginal. Fuel often is. Capel very lightly in the same position. Of course, I know because Mr. O'Brien wasn't in the booth last night, as I wasn't either, as Johnny Rowe was under pressure of Magnus Lawford. I know that the fuel strategist extraordinaire was helping out his team ERT as their spotter for the evening, so he's very likely giving them some fuel numbers as well. So, yeah, very likely helping them with that, since we didn't broadcast the race yesterday as well. So for Stewart, he'll just be in cruise control saving this fuel. See if Ryan Mueller's in a similar boat or not. I mean, you know, Nickel and Cook and Dodds and Harris, not as likely in that position, especially for Harris, who's trying to fight his way forward. For Colby Warren, he's using all those freedom units to push that car as far forward as he can within this session here tonight. 12 minutes, 45 seconds into this one. So we're only roughly 2 minutes away from the halfway point of race 3 here this evening as Jake Burton is back in pit lane. Stacey Boyd is in as well. To give you some updates here for what's happened tonight. So Burton's last run through pit lane was a drive-through penalty. So that's why he came through. Mazzomo's received a license point penalty for his rejoin. And Aaron Smith has received a license points penalty for contact with Jared McLeod on lap 2. So that's just to give you the updates on that one as of right now. We'll be able to talk you more through some of the penalties that have been applied tonight as well a bit later on. That's how it currently stands at the moment for all those guys who have been involved in some unfortunate incidents for themselves. As Harris runs it up through turn 11. We'll see how far he can get in this race. I mean, he's up to P7. Solid run of form for him at the moment. Mueller still hot on the heels of Capel here. And then, of course, Dodsey, well, putting big pressure here on Simon Mazzomo. So we'll see what Dodsey can do on board this car and how much more pressure that can be applied as well. See what we got an offer for you here. For back onto Stefan Lawrence. You've got the driver's eye as well as they run up the back straight. So Dodds sort of not necessarily fresh into Porsche Cup racing. He has done it prior to now. But he will be hoping to continue getting better and better and better every single week. Possibly can. Right now running in P9. I mean, this is a great effort from him. Good points on offer as well if he can finish in this position, but Lawrence won't want to make it that easy for him. These guys know each other well. They've raced together in supercars prior to now. Where's the Cats AFL scheme driver, Super Dozzy? No, you know that he would have his local football team if he could. Further back as well, Craig Schultz starting to become a bit of a roadblock here for the progression of Matt Bowler and Sam Muir back through the field. Kurt Chapman into pit lane now as well. So the issue now for these drivers who are getting caught up in the traffic is cars who have already taken their stop tonight, we're reaping some benefits of drivers being held up. So they've got to try and fight their way further and further forward. Just try and get past them. Just sneak their way on through if they can. As Bowler does that on Craig Schultz. So now for Bowler, he's been released. He's got to push on. Mueller wants to get released past Capel to try and chase down Job Stewart if he can, and that's a job done for Ryan Mueller and a great effort for the Pacific Esports driver. He's got 3.5 seconds to chase down up to Job Stewart as Daniel Harris has just run off the road down at turn 6 and 7. How has this happened for Daniel down here? He had Tim Nicol on his inside. So Tim up alongside him here. Gives him a bit of a door. Oh, and off the road goes Harris. Drops a couple of spots, including Mazzomo. Has to rejoin just ahead of Dodds and Lawrence. Dodds won't be happy with that. That's given Lawrence the position, and Tim, fair play to him, going to redress it and give Daniel the position after all that happens. So it's not as bad off here for Harris. He has gotten going once again. He's got work to do here if he hopes to continue this battle up towards the front end of the field. We're right on board with him as he comes up towards the final corner of this Okayama circuit. Nicol into pit lane. So Tim will try and get a pit stop done, get that car fixed up a little bit for himself as well, and get rocking and rolling back up towards the top 10 towards the end of this race. 17.5 minutes have gone. 12.5 minutes are left to run here at this Okayama International Circuit. And Daniel Harris is on the charge up through the field, as has been Stefan Lawrence and Simon Mazzomo as well. They've had work to do in this race. Lachlan Capel, Ryan Mueller, these guys have had to fight their way forward, as has Job Stewart across race 2 to get themselves inside of the top 10. For Mueller, he's gotten past Capel now, but he's unable to run away from him just yet. It was right on board with Capel into the mid part of the circuit, up through Piper now at 7 towards Redgate at turn 8 down here. I was getting confused there. I wasn't sure if it was actually called Redgate or not, if I'm honest with you. Most position gained, unfortunately, Jack Oz, the positions gained are a bit iffy tonight because it's multiple races in a replay file. It doesn't actually count the positions properly. So it's counting them across the night, technically, right now. So it's counting Marcus Cook across the 3 races. Is currently up 25 positions from where he originally started. Craig Schultz is up 18 from where he originally started in race 1. Dodds is up 14. Rowe is up 11. And then McLeod up 8. Fitzpatrick up 2. Tonkin up 7. Lofthouse up 5. Lawrence up 2. Mazzomo up 7. Capel up 3. Mueller up 8. And Warren, the race leader here of race 3, is up 5 at the moment. So that is the positions gained across the event as a whole, from race 1 to race 3, in terms of where they started race 1 to where they currently race in race 3. That is their position change from where they qualified at the start of the night, as Smith just lets these guys past him at this stage of the race. But what does this mean for the championship? Well, Sam Muir, who currently sits in P11, has given up a good chunk of points to Simon Mazzomo up ahead of him on the road at the moment, who sits P5 on the road. Remember, he got good points in race 2 compared to Muir. So good points on offer for him there, and that's what Mez needs to keep himself in the championship challenge. Have Muir get poor rounds. Doesn't necessarily have to be a totally poor round, but one where he gives up good points to you. Crucial points, if you will, in these races. And that's what's going to matter for Mazzomo at the end of the season, if he can keep himself consistent here. Ellie Gardner battling away with Craig Schultz ahead of her. Martin Lofthouse in behind her as well. This is a battle for P12 on the road at this stage. Muir up ahead of him in P11. Pedersen has fought his way back up to P15 at this stage, whilst fighting COVID, so that's a fair effort from him throughout this one. This is our battle, our fastest battle on track, at the moment, our closest battle. Harry Dodds and Daniel Harris traversing the lap traffic of Aaron Smith here as they come through turn 2. So Daniel Harris, he just looks so smooth on board this car. Of course, Daniel's been having some really big success away from the league as of late. In fact, we'll be taking part very soon in the Prodigy Search for the Radical SR8 Cup. July 20th, well, that was 9 days ago. I'm not sure how he went. He was in the top 5 finalists alongside Camille Franchak, Dare McCormick, David Toth and Brendan Walker. He was the only Australian amongst that field to get inside the top 5, so big congratulations for Daniel on that achievement. Now that that's done and dusted, he's obviously putting time and effort back into the Porsche Cup car, so it's really good to see there from Daniel getting that opportunity for himself as well, and a very top level effort to get that position in that competition as well. Colby Warren, though, leads the way from a fair whack at the moment. It's around about 10.5 seconds, so I think Job Stewart is in major fuel conservation mode just to try and get this car home in a no-stop strategy. Ryan Mueller in P3 is about 4.8 seconds off the back of him, so if he's not fuel saving, what does that say to you about Job Stewart and being able to run this sort of pace while saving fuel? It's an all-time performance for him if he can do that. Capel P4, very likely doing the same thing that Job's doing. Mez, Lawrence, Cook, Harris, Dodds, Bowler, the top 10. Fitzpatrick and Rowe back into pit lane as well. So We've got less than 10 minutes left to run in this race. Nearly almost 5 minutes left to run in this race, in fact. And all the pressure at this stage is on Colby Warren and whether he needs a pit stop in this race. 10.3 seconds adrift of Job Stewart. When does Colby have to come in, if he does have to come in? Because cars have been pitting over the last period of the race. And that says to me, you know, first cars we saw coming in were around about 8 minutes into this one. Does that say to you that they can only, well, they need 8 minutes worth of fuel, or they could put a bit more in? I'm unsure, but for Colby, I don't know if he's fuel saving. And I don't know if he's fuel saving as well as Job is. It doesn't appear like he is. As he's changing gears, he's pushing this thing as hard as possible. And it's, you know, it's to build up this much gap is great, but he needs enough gap that he could cover the pit stop. That's what he needs. He needs enough to cover the pit stop, to cover the no fuel or no stop strategy of Job Stewart in behind him. So for Colby Warren, pressure's on. He's got 6 minutes left. Can he make this race on a no stop? Even without fuel saving, I don't know if he could, or I don't think he shouldn't be able to. The fuel level should not allow it. And then for Job Stewart, who's got less than 10 seconds now gap up to Colby Warren, can he do it on a no stop as well? Or is he going to have to come through pit lane after all this fuel saving? It's an exciting prospect of strategic warfare between these cars. As Warren comes through the second to last corner, he's going to go for another lap. So lap 17 coming your way, 24.5 minutes done and dusted. Next time we traverse, it should be the 26th minute of this race. Very, very roughly. And that's the gap between... that's the gap between the leader and P2 and Job Stewart. 9.6 seconds. Further 6.4 seconds back is Ryan Mueller with Lachlan Capel and Stefan Lawrence behind him. Mazzomo's in pit lane. So Mez has had to pit. How much further can those cars who haven't pit, how much further can they go? Can anyone make the no-stop strategy work for themselves? 5 minutes left. Lap 17. Fastest lap of the race coming from Job Stewart last time by. 1:31.29. So I think, has Job saved enough that he's got a good enough fuel number on board that car now that he can just push on and close gap? It's a massive gamble. It's a massive risk trying to go for it. And unless you were 100% confident you could do it, then there is no worth trying to save enough to do a no-stop strategy in this race. But for Job, he hasn't got much to lose. He's he's a week worth of points behind the championship leader. And for Colby Warren, he wants one more lap. So what is on board this Freedom Units machine to go to lap 18 of this race? 4 minutes left to run. Can they make it home? And what sort of lap time is Job Stewart going to pull out of the magic hat as Mueller's in the pit lane? So it makes me believe that Warren can't make it because Lawrence is in too. So 1:32.83 for Stewart that last time by. Capel, in fact, went fast led in 1:32.37. How many fumes are on board this car? How many litres are left? How many gallons are left on board this car? Surely he cannot go one more lap of the Okayama International Circuit. It is crunch time for deciding whether you can save enough. I mean, even going down to first gear for turn 5, that's not a fuel save strategy whatsoever. So it says to me that he's not fuel saving, and it says to me that he's pushing to try and build this gap. But at 10.7 seconds, it's never going to be enough to pit and come back out in the race lead over Job Stewart. So for Warren, does he commit to it or he's going to go one more. Surely not. No. Into pit lane comes Warren now. That would have been absolutely ludicrous at the 27th and a half minute. So Stewart will come round the second to last corner. And I think he's confident enough to go all the way to the end. I think he knows he's fuel saved enough to get this car to the checkered flag. Because why else would you give up 10.5 seconds to the race leader if you weren't fuel saving to the maximum degree? 3 minutes on the clock. Should be 2 more laps when we cross the line. It's been an incredible race. Warren has managed to come out P3 through all that. So he pushed on. Didn't fuel save. Still on the podium. And with 5.75 seconds back to Daniel Harris. Now has Harris pulled off the miraculous move of saving enough fuel to go to the end without a pit stop? He's done it before in these races. He did it back at Road Atlanta in Season 1 in our final rush round of the season that season. He managed to do it. So if anyone that we know previously could do it, it's him. Could Bowler do it? Could Muir do it? Could Gardner do it? Well, they managed to think so. They're on lap 19 of this race with 2 to go when they cross the line. So if they're going to pit, it's going to be this lap. I mean, no doubt about it. It's either this lap or next that they pit, because otherwise they're trying to send it for one final lap of this race. And if you're Job Stewart, you're trying to slow this up now so you don't have to do the extra lap to the end. But I don't know if he's actually slowed it up enough to do so, because when he crosses the line, it's got to be more than 1 minute 30 on the clock. So up towards the start-finish line, though, comes Job Stewart with seconds to where he needed it to be. It's a 29.25, and the white flag has been flown. White flag has been flown because Job Stewart slowed down enough on that last lap to a 34.5 to get this car to the end of this race. So it's white flag. Gardner's had to come in. Pedersen's had to come in. The others have committed to one more lap. So this is very sound strategy from the ERT team. Slowing up on the, what it was now, the second to last lap to force the white flag. And now it looks to be a checkered celebration for Job Stewart. It's just hit the 30-minute mark. Actually, I was wrong. I'm just completely off here. He was not even close enough to get it to the end. So it was always going to be the last lap. I'm just cloudy in the head, it seems. Job Stewart, though, what a performance tonight. 1 lap left, half a lap left, in fact, in what has been a fantastic race. And he has fuel saved his way to a no-stop performance that we have seen before. Round the final couple of corners, though, comes Job Stewart in a fantastic effort here tonight. Up towards the start-finish line. 2 wins in 3. Makes it a rush for the ages for Job Stewart. Great points on the board. And the fastest lap of the race in the last time by 131.18. Lachlan Capel comes home in P2. Colby Warren in P3. Daniel Harris will come home in P4. Matt Bowler in a fantastic effort in P5. He'll win the round. Sam Muir, Ryan Mueller, Craig Schultz, Simon Mazzomo, and Stefan Lawrence will make up our top 10 here in the feature race of the VRS Porsche Cup Series Round 7, Season 2, in the final rush round of the season. Marcus Cook home in P11, Tim Nicol, Alan Dawson, Ellie Gardner, Angus Lawford, the top 15. Harry Dodds, John Akers, Martin Lofthouse, Steve Tonkin, Blake Fitzpatrick home in P20 in the end. Stacey Boyd, Kurt Chapman, Paul Wilson, Gary Watson, and Johnny Rowe makes up our top 25 in our feature race here this evening. What a race it was, though, for these drivers. What a fantastic performance from some of them. And a great gain for some of them too in the end there. But for Colby Warren, gave up a race win just so then he could solidify a podium. But, I mean, probably just didn't realise he could have fuel saved to get it home at the end of the race. In a real struggling time. 9.5 cars look good crossing the line together. They did. They looked the goods coming across the line together there, which was great to see from them. I don't know why we've lost the live timing, so let's get that loaded back up again. There we go. I'm unsure if anyone's going to be coming into the green room for a quick chat or not. We'll give them a moment too. And whilst we wait, we'll get our feature race results up on your screen. So, Job Stewart takes the win to Lachlan Capel, Colby Warren, Daniel Harris, Matt Bowler for the top 5, Sam Muir, Ryan Mueller, Craig Schultz, Simon Mazzomo, Stefan Lawrence for the top 10, Marcus Cook, Tim Nicol, Alan Dawson, Ellie Gardner, Angus Law for the top 15, Harry Dodds, John Akers, Martin Lofthouse, Steve Tonkin, Blake Fitzpatrick comes home inside the top 20 in the end. Stacey Boyd, Kurt Chapman, Paul Wilson, Gary Watson, Johnny Rowe, the top 25, Rodney Golan, Jake Burton, Jared McLeod, Alex Schuler and Ben Pedersen for our top 30, with Aaron Smith, Stan and Fever and Sean Lindsell at the back of the field didn't get started in the final race of the evening as well. Massive thank you to everyone that has joined us here this evening. We so appreciate your time being here with us as well. How many in the top 15 did the fuel save strat? To be honest with you, I think it was about the top 7 or so went for that strategy. I've lost the timing for that moment of the race, so unfortunately we don't have it available now. I've had to restart the timing, so unfortunately we've missed out on that. But yeah, massive thank you to everyone that has joined us here tonight. I don't know if anyone's coming to have a chat to me who finished on the podium in that one for the feature race. But yeah, appreciate everybody watching along with us once again. Thank you guys for understanding as to why we had to reschedule last night's broadcast to tonight as well. So appreciate you guys giving me support for that. And yeah, continue to support the series as well. So if you've been around for a while or you're joining us here for the first time, you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon too, so you're notified whenever we go racing here on the channel. Next up on the docket for you, Friday night IRWC Rodnott Cup out at Langley Speedway. That'll be a fantastic race. That'll be at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, we go racing with more racecraft simulations, V8 Veterans for round 6 of season 24 out at the Hockenheim Ring. So that's going to be a spectacular event once again. Next week, though, for the VRS Porsche Cup Series here in season 2 for round 8 of the season, we head over to Brazil for Interlagos for the final feature race of the season. 60 minutes of racing around Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, which looks to be an absolutely spectacular way for us to end out our feature race run of the season. We then have one sprint round left in Long Beach the week after, and then the new finale round type out Belle Isle with 2 30-minute features coming your way in that one. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. Thank you guys so much as well for getting us to 200 subscribers. Many appreciations out to you. It warms my heart that this series has gotten so much love and that you guys are here with us as well on the channel and giving us support on the channel too. So I implore you, please, if you know anyone who'd be interested in watching along with us, or you want to get your friends and family watching along with us as well, send them the channel, send them the broadcast link, and get them to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon too, because that helps support myself and everyone who co-commentates with me as well, who are absolutely amazing in giving up their time to be here with me too. But I'm Hamish Munro. This has been the IRWC for the VRS Virtual Racing School Porsche Cup Series. Round 7 of Season 2 out at Okayama. We'll be back next week for Round 8 at Interlagos. We give a massive shout out to all our series sponsors, including VRS Virtual Racing School for being the title sponsor of the series, coming on board this year to help us along in getting our drivers out on track and supporting them by getting rewards to them too. I have contacted VRS. I've heard back from them too, so hopefully we're getting those previous prizes out to drivers in the first 6 rounds of this series, and then also our final 2 rounds of last season as well, to Infinity Broadcasting as well. We broadcast the series, so We appreciate any support you guys give us. SPP Graphics, if you want to get your dirt bike looking as sexy as possible before you cover it in dirt or inevitably hit a tree or scratch it on a rock, send Johnny a message over at SPP Graphics. Direct link to the Facebook page is in the description below. And a Black Art Designs, if you want to get your sim racing car looking as good as possible here on iRacing, send myself, Hamish Munro, a message over on Discord. We'll get you guys absolutely sorted with that. You can also contact me there for any inquiries about Infinity Broadcasting. But I've been Hamish Munro. This has been the VRS Porsche Cup Series Round 7 of Season 2 at Okayama. See you guys next week at Interlagos. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
No control, feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain, only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taking over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane. Of the past, the roaring ghosts that never last. But here I stand, the finish line. One last race, one last time. Through it all, get past the pain. Cutting laps, making gains. Feeling tired, get to my aim. The desire to get to victory lane. Speeding faster, no control. Feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain. Only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taking over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane.